Hi, great to be here, and thank you so much all for being here. And thank you to Ingspel. Thank you, Kishor, for being here. We were discussing over a cup of coffee that how interesting seeing this whole transition from analog to digital because we gratefully belong to that era. And there are so many interesting stories around it, and to the level where technology has evolved today with respect to how we are doing things, processing things, be it media planning, buying, programmatic, be it the way AI is being used with different contexts in different fields, in different domains. And there's some wonderful stuff that, Kishore has been doing. We were talking about it, and certain complexities which, a thing is complex until unless we understand the base. So once we understand how it operates, it stops being that complex. But however, technology is becoming more and more complex because of the way it could be applied in various segments, including advertising, marketing, technologies of various kinds, and the way we reach our consumer and communicate with our consumer. So a lot of stories are there around how TVCs, how digital ads have been created over and over again with respect to understanding the audiences. How do audiences resonate, right? What are people, be it a B2C or a B2B product, but how do we connect with them? It is not only about building a narrative, but also measuring that, doing calculated experiments. And that is only successful when we start with failing fast and understanding the depth of the reason to believe that the consumer is changing each and every day. So the beauty of this ecosystem is its dynamic nature, right? So what the consumer was, say, just to take a recent example, pre-COVID and post-COVID, consumption patterns has changed, right? And even with B2B, larger than the regular B2C, right? So with this, on the context of this topic that we are given, hyperlocalization meets AI, how can brands merge cultural authenticity with AI-driven personalization? So personalization as a topic has been very interesting, right? Whenever, we have conversations, I'm talking around maybe 10, 12 years back, people used to say, "Arey, email में ना नाम डाल दो तो personalize हो जाएगा, तो वो personalization हो जाता है." So technology has evolved leaps and bounds to the level that where the person actually lives, which culture, to specific that particular area, how that behavior is, there's a lot of signals that people capture. And B2C and B2B both have their own set of challenges, right? And with this, I would start with a simple analogy, right? If, say, a brand which sells fashion t-shirts or something like that, say if you're looking at a medium size t-shirt. Now, earlier, so if you go back 15 years back, how the targeting used to be done, and today there are so many technologies via which the recommendations is to understand them better. I'm talking specifically on B2C front as of right now, and to reach out to them at their moment. Like people would know that Google defined 4 moments, right? When to go, where to go moments, the go to go moments. And now, with that, I would begin this panel and have Kishor's thoughts and experiences around how B2B, because Kishor has been primarily with the B2B sector. So Kishor, let me start by not posing a question, but if you can share a little bit about your experience of your journey in the past, just about 10 years, that how did you see things evolving in the B2B space? What were the challenges earlier? Say, top 1 challenge that was there 10 years before, and is that challenge still solved? A very open-ended question, just to set your context for the audience.
So thank you, Ankoor, and thank you, Ingspel, for inviting me first. Before I start, actually, I want to understand among the audience, have you worked on B2B campaigns so that I can understand who I'm talking to? Can I show off raise of hands? Some of us? 25%? So thank you. So from challenge perspective, a wonderful question. So I think challenge for any, whether it is B2B, B2C or B2G, it has always been connecting to the right audience. all right? So, I mean, leave alone 10 years hence or 10 years after today. Start from an era where it was the communication was drum through a munadi, drum beats, all right. So it was always been connecting to the right audience. While of course the munadi was actually shouting out loud, and whosoever understands it, whosoever is the audience, understand and take an action, all right. Then of course then the personalization happens, and as you rightly said, it started from giving the right name to the email is personalization. But I would say that that's a good beginning, because it is personalization is also like digital transformation, right? Once digital transformation was getting connected to a Wi-Fi was digital transformation, right? But now today it's given. Anybody and everybody have a hotspot on the mobiles, so it is like a given. So it is like a which we will never reach digital transformation. Now we were some a year back or 2 years back, we started talking about AI. We talked about Gen AI. Now today we are talking about agentic AI, and tomorrow we might talk about, say, common general intelligence, something else. All right. So it is a journey. It is never a end. So as I said, the challenge has always been to understand who your audience is and how you reach out to them. So that is when we use, either it can be technology, it can be events, doing whatever possible, making the right content for the customers. So for example, if you want to reach out to the CEO, of course the language will be different and the bait will be different. So they might talk about not how to do things, but how will it save them money, right? How things will gonna be quicker, how whatever you're selling is enabling them to achieve their business goals, how ready or how equipped they are to showcase the achievements to the board of directors. So all in all, what I'm saying is it has always been connecting with the right message so that they take the intended action.
No, this is wonderful actually. In fact, there is this person who sends me a regular emailer. Now, that emailer has my name in 3 places, right? So, dear Ankoor, and then, hey Ankoor, you know what? And then at the end, so Ankoor, so it feels different, right? And these are just the nuances of how it all started. But I feel that personalization, as you rightly mentioned, the first question being with the agency, we ask that who is your target? And there are some brands which also mention that, why don't you tell us? And that's kind of a meme that took place, that, at times brands are confused on who their target audience actually is. And how do we segment it? How do we personalize it? From the word segment comes the next question, that, Kishor, on the over-segmentation front, right, how do we ensure that, from the B2B perspective, how do we draw the line between, say, avoiding unnecessary complexities and how to personalize it relevant, slightly more challenging than the regular B2C as well?
So, Ankur, again, a great question that way. When we talk about personalization, I think it has been happening more than 15 years back. And when we talk about an email where we have our names, it is available on Microsoft Word, right? But now the thing is how well the copy is written, who we are reaching out to. So firstly, we have to understand are we doing segmentation because we have to do it? Somebody has questions, why? Why this segment? Or is it a big enough segment? Or is it, after all micro segmentation and all, are you only getting, say, 1,000 people? Or a 500 people? Is it a good addressable set? So because of AI, I think because things are easier, it should not mean that we have to do more things. We should keep it simple. Definitely keep it simple. Apply mind. Ask questions. Of course, with the bosses, if your bosses are okay with it, of course. And ask clients. why want to do this segment? Is this I mean, whatever segment we are kind of have put in, is it actionable? Is it repeatable? Or whatever we're gonna do, will it be measurable? And there will be cost to it. While of course you can say cost can be of tokens, cost can be of engineering who has been put into place. There will be some cost. So we have to really understand the cost benefit analysis. This is nothing new, but sometimes in the flow of things, because things become easy because of the AI, we try to complicate things. So keep it, understand what the cost benefit analysis is, do a segmentation where you have some addressable market. It should, of course, as you rightly mentioned, our is a B2B organization, and that too a B2B enterprise grade software organization. So then, of course, we only have to, from India perspective, we only have to talk to top 1,500 organizations. And if we segment that from, 1,500 organizations, then how many customers? And what kind of level we are talking to? Are we talking to the CIO, CTO? Are we talking to the mid-management? Or are we talking to the junior guys? So I think these three segments, let's not complicate and make it complicated for you and put engineering, put more dollars,
right.
And you don't get, finally you don't get anything out of it. It is most like, I mean, it's like a dud event or dud communication or like a dud campaign. So from these three levels, we definitely segment in a way that, you know, the top level, the mid level, and the junior level, and also where they are, what is the journey of their customers? Are they kind of, they're not aware about the product? Are they not aware about the company? And then
This is so interesting. While you were talking, I had a question in mind. If there was no LinkedIn today, how would we have done it? I'm just curious. I'm just asking this question to myself as well, from a B2B perspective, because I was wondering, how did people do it before LinkedIn? I mean, just a candid question I'm still asking myself.
No,
so the life cycle journey is so humongous, like 8 to 9 months minimum, I mean, for my set of clients that I used to work with. And how do you maintain that level of patience for something to convert is a very interesting or brand.
So interestingly, I worked in an organization which is world's top organization in databases. So before LinkedIn, there was a world of databases, and it was, of course, it was done on SQL and Excel sheets and everything, but it was very well done. So it was not this complicated. We had lakhs of data points from large organizations, medium organizations, and smaller organizations also. Of course, then there was, I mean, it was really, it was costly to connect or collect the database, because, you know, databases are there in silence. So basically, if you have to, so for example, if you have to reach out to, suppose right now today there's no LinkedIn, okay, and you have to reach out to some industrial area, you know, a bigger industrial area or a SEZ, they will have an association. You can go to association office. Of course, you have to send somebody. You have to call them. They will be happy to share the database. Of course, it can be on payment. It can be without payment on your relationships. But all that has been done. So LinkedIn is recent. I mean, as Ankoor, I was talking to you outside, that right now I can see so much. You know, you must have seen the radio, like a big radio, a feed radio. You would have seen the black and white TV. You would have seen the color TV, all right? And then now the thin TVs, right? You must have seen pagers. So this is the last of us. You know, like we should also be kept in a museum. Nobody else will gonna see this change. A pager. Try to explain what a cassette is to a 5 years old or a 10 years old. They will not know how the cassette looks like. A video cassette or a CD maybe. They would not know. You would remember from DataQuest, right? So all this, I mean, while of course I was a little bit deviating, what I'm saying is there was world before LinkedIn. There is world today as well. As there was world before ChatGPT and after ChatGPT on like 2022.
No, this is interesting. I mean, I hope people are, and if there are any questions in between as well, feel free to ask. Because this is, I don't want to keep it just a boring discussion of two people talking. So I want to keep it experiential. I want to keep it, sharing of journeys as well. Because the more we talk on this topic, it can't be completed in 30, 35, 40 minutes, right? There's so much to talk about it. Thinking about the way they are solving these problems globally, it'll take a lot of time, right? Because the technology is so deep and vast. And coming to human insight and AI at scale, this is one of the things we were discussing, that we should discuss. And this is a very interesting piece of thought that when it comes to storytelling, right? This is when we speak with brands, they're like, okay, top of the funnel aap chhod dijiye, let's come to the bottom of the funnel and let's start conversions immediately, right? So now there are two models essentially broadly. One is the IDA model and one is the flywheel model, right? So the flywheel model essentially puts your customer or the growth strangers and advocates, and how do you convert people into the existing customers into advocates. But the IDA model is like, I've always told my team that wherever I work, that it works in certain places, but it's a perspective, right? If you put something down a funnel, it'll just go, it won't come back on the funnel, right? Essentially, the way you think of it. But coming to that, human insight versus AI at scale, which is happening right now. So the question is, which parts of B2B campaigns should be automated, and where does storytelling fit in B2B? This is a question I also keep wondering from time to time, because storytelling needs, but how much of it and how much of it will be creating impact, how important it is, let me put it that way. How much is actual human insight and storytelling important?
So I think since long we have been a country of stories, like Mahabharata and Ramayana. It is Itihasa, right? So I mean, the outcome of, I mean, I'll just not deviating, but taking the discussion on a broader scale. So whole of if you have to understand Gita, you have to understand Mahabharata. So that's storytelling. If you straight away starts from Gita, you might not understand it. Same way it is relevant today as well. You have to tell a story, and then finally it will gonna be there will be an outcome which will gonna come. So I will not talk about B2B only, because from a story perspective or storytelling perspective, I think B2B stories are easier, because we know we are talking to somebody who has similar pains. You know, the cost is a pain. The IT budgets are shrinking, that's a pain. And giving 5-star experience to your employees and customers, of course, that's an objective. And of course, in the set of things which is less budgets, right, which are reducing every year. So from a B2C perspective, I think storytelling is more dynamic. It's more varied. So if you see the Ashwamedha we just saw as a winner, right? No AI will tell you Ashwamedha as a concept, because that's concept from India, right? And of course, people would know and would have heard about stories. So what I'm kind of saying is, it is easier to tell stories in B2B than B2C. Coming to B2B, I mean, I have been doing B2C not by design but by chance, I think. I have worked in advertising agencies. I have worked in digital marketing agencies. I've worked as a fashion photographer 20 years back. But it had, yeah, I know, this is new. So it happened that way. But so my understanding, again, the storytelling about B2B is easy and direct. And just understand where we are, the segmentation we were talking about. Are we talking to the right CXO or a CTO? Are we talking about the tools? And the final ones who will be possibly the implementers of the technology. So talk to all three. They will be different tonality, but messaging will be similar. Of course, there should be no threat when it comes to usage of technology and employee retrenchment, right? So that, I mean, I think many of us would be thinking AI is a threat to some of us who are not right now using enough of AI. But coming back to the storytelling, very important. Use technology, give the right messaging to the right people, right segment. Don't overcomplicate, make it.
Now that brings me back to a question. For instance, say for a particular product on the B2B lifecycle journey, there is this maybe the CEO's involvement, the CTO's involvement, the CFO's involvement, and probably the procurement head's involvement, I'm just thinking out loud, then you target all these four, right? Then how do you, typically in your observation, how does it happen? Who takes the final call, and why is the life cycle journey so difficult? Because of the budgets, the investments to be made, and one person can't take the call. Like procurement head can't take the call. The CFO, I don't think can take the call single-handedly. How does it happen? Just curious for our audience as well and for.
No, great. Yeah. So of course, when the budgets are the cost of the product is higher, the stakeholders are more than one. Definitely, they are from different departments. Gartner says from any buying committee, it can be 8 or above people. They will be not from only IT. They will be from procurement. They will be from HR. They will be from all the ones. So of course procurement. So basically then they will be an economic buyer of that technology, and then there will be different peoples who would be pitching in their product. So B2B large organizations, product like ours, it can take anywhere between 9 months to.
That's what I know. 8 to 9
to
months.
To a year, yeah. Absolutely, and more than that. In government organizations can take a lot of kind of re-RFPs are done. So it is like a lot of discussions and many people are involved, not only the government organization people, but the SIs. So it is not simple, it's definitely complicated. That is because this impact is not that, it is not like nothing bad about any toothpaste, but if toothpaste goes bad, it's okay, you can change it quickly. Right, but from technology perspective, even the implementation takes time. So if it fails, the prestige or the goodwill of the person who was actually driving it. So even if there are 8 or more people, there will be somebody who will be putting his neck, right? It is about prestige. So of course it takes longer period of time, and it's a serious business.
But I would also love for you to little bit about what your organization does and certain things like be it agentic AI, but how the service is positioned for the market so that people can understand also about the nature of your product and organization.
Yeah, so I should have started with the disclaimer that all this what I'm saying is not from my organization's perspective, it is mine. But yes, so I'll tell you what we do. So basically, we are into service management and IT operations management. So we give 5-star experiences to employees and customers to enable them to give this experience. So if you would have noticed if there's something which goes wrong from a computer, you talk to somebody, like if the net is not working, you talk to Airtel, you talk to Vodafone. So that service desk is what we give as a technology to the customers. And interestingly, top 2 of the 3 telecom organizations are our customers, and banks. So basically, the other thing, one is service desk, another is we make sure that the IT is up every time. Of course, we are one of the enablers. So this is not the only technology which works in any organization, which is large organizations. They have plethora of tools, be it CRMs, be it other tools. There are so many of them, and we are one of them which makes sure that your banking is up every time. So while there are other industries which we cater to, it is not only banking and telecoms. So ours is a industry agnostic product, but through and through large organizations, they have to give a good experience to their customers, to their employees. If there's a life cycle to an employee, they need a laptop. So we do automation of all this, so that your employee gets the computer on day one. And of course, once they become an alumni, they need so many things. They have to interact with the organizations. This is all automated through our products.
Great, good to know. And thank you for sharing, Kishor. And as we begin to close on our discussion, there's one question that I always keep asking myself and whoever I keep meeting, because I get to learn as well in the process. Because the way now, Kishor, from your perspective, your observations, two prongs to this question. One is, what has changed in some way in the way we measure B2B campaigns? And do you see that something drastically is going to change in the way we measure moving forward because of the evolving technology and ML algorithms coming into place? Are we going to measure something really different? Because I was having this chat last week with somebody, and I was kind of debating that what is engagement, and then people agree with that's a separate topic of debate altogether. That clicks plus comments plus likes plus shares is engagement, and how do you measure that? I don't believe in that because I have a separate challenge to counter that. But that's a different point. But that brings me to the question that two prongs to it. What do you see has changed, and what do you see is maybe going to change?
Again, I'm coming from B2B perspective. It has not changed a lot. Okay, so while of course compare it in a way that when we do a event or an exhibition, there's an engagement to a booth. Compare it with the engagement on a LinkedIn post. So it is similar, all right. Neither that's conversion, neither this one. So it starts from there. So the measures are different. The booth visits, you can compare it with the link clicking, say liking. So liking is one part of it. Then there's an engagement part of it. Commenting is another part of it. Sharing is another part of it. But now, of course, it has become little comprehensive and complicated. That is what I would say over the years, because life was simple before LinkedIn. Little bit different, and with emergence of other tools with AI and all. But while the complications are there, it is also easier to understand through, again, these LLM models. They can tell you what insights do you want from whatever is happening in your algorithms, all right? Whatever logs you are creating, whatever inputs you have, it can all, the LLMs can tell you what is going right, what is going wrong. So it is both becoming simpler because of technology, while a lot of database is coming up. Again, it starts, the first metrics can be engagement, digital engagement, and of course, the first leading indicator will be how many likes, how many people are coming to your site, how many are taking more time to be on your site, how many are reading more pages, how many are spending more time, how many are not, how many bounces are there. So of course these metrics are the first metrics. Second would be of course the mid metric, which will be how many MQLs are converting into SQLs, right? So of course, unless you are a content creator, the are not the only thing which you can boost. Of course, followers and all, everything is good for us as well. But that is first leading indicator. The mid indicator would be how many sales qualified leads we are getting converted from MQLs. And the last one would be the revenue, because that is how, revenue is the lifeblood of any organization. So how much conversion has happened from the sales qualified leads. So sales has accepted any leads which have converted into opportunities. Then finally, what is the conversion of a SQL business or SQL into dollars? So that is the final proof of the pudding, Ankoor.
Oh, that's fair enough. One question which I had noted down, which I wanted to ask, that AI systems may carry cultural biases, right? Overall, all across. I mean, any kind of campaigns. So is there anything brands should be worried about or concerned about on safeguarding how this particular thing could be tackled, or anything globally any brand is doing? Or I'm sure certain things are happening on this front.
Correct. I mean, there are guide rails. There are. When we talk about India, it is a huge region, huge country with lot of different cultures. Now, the AI will not gonna help you in giving you cultural nuances. You have to see it by yourself. For example, in south of India, a lady covering her head with a sari, it's not a shubh sanket, right? It is not done in a good setting. It is generally, but in north of India, it will not happen that way. We'll gonna, I mean, if of course I'm talking about saris, not about jeans and Western attire. So here it is more like a respect. So these things, LLM or AI, no AI will understand this. So if we really want to kind of touch hearts through our storytelling, we have to apply the human side of us rather than AI. AI can help you, LLMs can help you, LLMs can give you insights, but the storytelling bit, keep it with humans.
I'm so glad we spoke about this because I'm a believer. Whenever technology is evolving, there has to be a human insight and human side to it. Because that's the way we are going to evolve to understand the customer better with respect to, because the customer is also evolving, sorry to keep the mic away. The customer is also evolving leaps and bounds, right? Every year we see a gradual shift in the consumption patterns, how their behavior is changing. What the upbringing today, the way people are getting to use the technologies itself is different, right? And which is good also in a way. But we have to learn to adopt, because if I wear the marketer hat or, what 15, 20 years back will not work today as tactics also, right? We have to understand today's consumer could be, in all possibility, maybe aware of a lot of aspects which earlier the consumers may not have been because of the lack of gadgets, mobile phones, a lot of things. And the way the thumb is being used for scrolling, I think the thumb is usually used for scrolling these days only. Because half of the people are like 4.5 to 5 hours, I think is the average spend time on people that have on Gen Z on their screens, any kind of screens. To bring this discussion to a close, because there's so much to talk around both this topic and itself, how things have been evolving over a period of years. If there is one key takeaway or a power statement that you would want to share with our audience, that what do you think with respect to AI and hyperlocalization, if marketers got to think through relevantly for the future, near future, what should be that key takeaway, or what would you suggest from your observations, learnings, that one closure?
I mean, I would say embrace AI. I think everybody knows it. I don't see me as a specialist who would be telling you for the first time, and I'm no specialist, truly speaking. I'm one of you. So embrace AI, and of course learn daily. As you said, we are using our thumbs to kind of scroll reels and everything. I mean, use your thumb for the right thing, right scrolling, right videos, and definitely there's no. You can't hide. You can run, you can't hide. Definitely embrace it very well. Use it and think back. So save after you use AI. Think and see how you are doing it. I mean, there's definitely a time saver because of LLMs and everything which we are using. But sit back. Question yourself why you are doing it. Is it because somebody else is doing it, or you are? I mean, answer 3 whys. Answer why use anything. Answer why now. Or why this tool. So basically, there are plethora of tools. It is not free. And also, if you want to, of course, be sure to not scale. You do not do anything on scale. Test it out in a small segment, as we said, then basically roll out full-fledgedly, because it will gonna help. So basically, apply your human side of thinking, thoughts, and then of course roll out at scale if that is working very well. So overall, embrace agentic AI, Gen AI, and AI.
No, absolutely. To resonate with what Kishor just mentioned, it's important that how much control we should keep in the way we, ends to means or means to the ends, as we say. Are we using AI just to overtake everything and control everything that we do, or are we using to get inspired and make us more intelligent, right? When calculators came and people thought that People who teach maths will lose their jobs. When computers came, similar things happened, right? There are two sides to it, but I feel if we need to stay evolved and relevant, it's always important for, at least for us, in the generation who have position, it's important for us to stay relevant and learn and apply, as you said. Application is very important. So till today, if I understand, if somebody comes up to me that, there's a new tool, it can be used for this particular thing, I make a hand at trying it out and applying so that I actually understand, is this tool better than something else? But I don't keep on using that on a daily basis, right? So like today's content writers are doing, it's very, kind of unfortunate to see that at times we are just using a tool to make us more intelligent, because at the end of the day, there's a human being behind the ML that happens. That's my take, and I would be happy to take any questions, any thoughts as well anybody has. If not, then we can wrap up, but we'll allow about 30 seconds for anybody to, and open up. Yeah, I think it's a wonderful audience, but questions are always welcome.
I hope everybody's awake.
I tried to make it as interesting as possible. Hello, host. Did we overshoot the time or? Okay. All right. If there are no questions, you can please do a round of applause for us. And